You do some good stuff, man. And Fighters Right, man. You know, the whole Breland thing, man. That Breland interview was mad. Was mad. You know,
you know what?
It on fire again. It kind of sparked life into the game again.
Well, the thing about it is this: it was you on Pep Talk that kind of busted the Breland thing, and that's why we got the interview. Because if you can remember when I said, like, I did the interview with you last year, February, that Breland shouldn't be fired. Jay Diaz and Shelly Finkel should have been fired. Remember that interview that I did with you in the Blue Jays cafeteria in South London, right, on Portland Road? And that went viral because everybody used the sound bites and the quotes from that, from all the press and all the boxing media. And it was because of that why Mark Breland felt comfortable on coming and doing the bits with me and Tundi. But not only that, I've known Mark Breland personally since 2007. I've personally known him. So that's a little while ago now. So it's not like, that's 14 years. When I went over to America to work with a fighter that I was working with, and Mark was training the kid as an amateur. So we did a little bit of time with him. Him and Nermal Lorick. Nermal Lorick was the trainer of Louis Collazo, former WBA welterweight champion of the world. So I did some bits with Nermal as well. So big up Nermal Lorick. I know he supports, man. So yeah.
Mm. It's kind of funny that as soon as you dropped that, I think it was a few days after, Mark Breland retracted his statement and kind of said, look, it weren't like that. This is what I meant. What did you make of all that? Because I ain't spoken to you since.
Well, you know what? The thing about it is, this is actually Mark Breland's son, Anthony, that was the one that did get in the interview. But prior to the interview, it was like a few hours before the interview went out, I got a phone call from Mark's lawyer, and they were saying like, oh, we're not too sure if we could do the interview because, you know, there's legal ramifications, and they're most probably looking to sue Deontay Wilder for the defamatory statements that he's made about Mark Breland. So what happened was, it was like, what, so you're not doing it? And it was like, boy, we don't know. So I spoke to the lawyer and I said, listen, the thing goes out on Super Chats, on StreamYard. So people will ask those questions. There's nothing I can say about that. But what I would say to you is like, just say that you wish Deontay Wilder all of the best and blah, 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 and leave it at that, right? Now, we've got a group chat, myself, Tundi Ajayi, and Gary Blake, the man with a can that can, right? So Gary got the message, but Tundi didn't see the message. So Tundi asked him anyway, but he said, look, I found it disrespectful. And maybe Tundi was thinking, how come Spencer's not pushing it? And it's because the lawyer said, well, you don't really want to talk about Deontay Wilder. And I said, that's cool, because I listen, being the guy who has been nicknamed the knowledge, I'm saying I would rather talk about your career. Don't have to touch on that, right? But the thing is, I know the importance of it because the whole world was waiting to hear Mark Breland's narrative towards the allegations that were made against him by Deontay Wilder. So Mark Breland is a very humble person. He's not a very forthright person. So, you know, Tundi asked him, nobody put a gun to his head to say, listen, Reggie, you better say this, you better say that, because it wasn't the case. And then, right, so he said his statement, which I know he didn't write that statement. I know that I'm not sure he's lawyer, right? But I phoned Mark and I said, bro, what's this all about, bro? Like, listen, I've got a great respect for you. You're an ex-fighter. You were the guy when I was a kid who I used to watch from, what was the movie that he was in? The Laws of Discipline. You don't remember that movie, right? The Laws, you don't, do you? Exactly. The Laws, you don't just come to boxing last week, bro. The Laws of Discipline was made in, I think it was 83, but it came out just before he went to the Olympics. So it was a big kerfuffle about Mark Breland. Mark Breland was the guy who was on the front of the Ring magazine. Mark Breland was big. He was big. They're saying like he's the second coming of Sugar Ray Leonard, all the rest of it. And you know, is what it is. Two-time world champion. I can't knock him. So we spoke about his career, but yeah, I just wanted to clear that up with him. And he said, nah, it's cool. It's cool. And since then, his son Anthony's been on a couple channels talking and all the rest of it. But end of the day, we got the scoop. Nobody else could get that. And that's more to do with, if I'm hollering out to America, I've been in this game a long time. I've been involved in boxing for now, 42 years? That's a long time, right?
Wow.
You get what I'm right? I've been involved in boxing 42 years. I've been watching boxing for 45 years. Like watching boxing, like avidly watching boxing. So it's nothing new to me. It's new to average, new to there's a new wave of people coming in. It's like new because they're on it. And because I've been involved in boxing for this amount of time doesn't give me a sense of entitlement at all. But the people who really know, they know. Yeah, Spencer has actually got a sense of entitlement because we give him that entitlement. So it is what it is. And we just keep on doing our thing.
I saw Wilder talking to Marcus Watson just last week saying that Anthony Joshua or Andy Ruiz are fights that, you know, he fancies having.
Stop for a second. If me and Tundi didn't get that Mark Breland interview, will you be hear Deontay Wilder talking right now? We didn't hear him talking.
That's what I said. It sparked life into the game because at that point it was quiet. Yeah, before.
All of them man that in America, you want to give me the props. Me, Gary Blake, Bobby Tundi, and Jay, you want to give us our props because we're the one that got that. You know what I mean? And I'm saying it's my black book. It's very, very extensive. Everyone knows that, right? But we're the one that got that because it was Tundi that coaxed me into going on his, say, let's start our own platform together. You know what I mean? It's either ownership or the slave ship. Let's start our platform together. Where I got loads of offers from loads of different people. Yeah, come, let's do our thing. Then people offer me some good money because there's some good money behind it as well. And I said, you know what? I'd rather do something with Tundi. I'd rather just do something, especially from where I'm from. Like we both come from the streets of South London. Rare-Tear, I think is a very, very good story. And to get that, and we're gonna get more scoops as well because people feel comfortable talking to us. I mean, people feel comfortable talking to me because I'm not just coming like, I want to talk about this, and they're not really educating me about their career. If I'm talking to a fighter, you're not educating me on nothing. Because I made it my life to know boxing. So they're not telling me something like, oh wow, I didn't really know, it's not a scoop. Like loads of other guys that are talking, they're learning the game as they're going along. I'm not boasting. No one can't really chat to me on this thing. And that's the truth. And that's not me being cocky. I'm just being honest. Like nobody really can't chat to me on this thing, but I'm all open to ears to learn. And there is a difference.
All right, man. So just on that Wilder statement that Joshua Ruiz, just kind of briefly, what are your thoughts on him calling out Joshua Ruiz?
It's amazing now that you got to call out people. Is it amazing now? You know what I mean? It's amazing now. I think Deontay Wilder firstly should to concentrate on learning technicalities. You know what I mean? And build his technical stuff. Maybe not say nothing. Deontay Wilder's a very wealthy man. What I think he should do is go behind closed doors and learn the truer fundamentals of boxing. And not just be a one-trick pony, but maybe be a four-trick pony, add some more things into his repertoire. That's what I believe. But it is what it is, because for some strange reason, Deontay Wilder, if Deontay Wilder was to meet me, even though we met before, we met quite a few times, like when I was out in Vegas. I ain't really going to get into the stories, but we've hooked up before when we were out in Vegas. It's before I was married, so it's all right. Right? So, like, but we've been in the same vicinities, right? And Deontay Wilder's a pretty cool guy, man. I'm just keeping it 100. Pretty cool guy. I remember Beats and Rhymes from over here used to interview regularly. And Deontay Wilder's a pretty cool guy. But I have said that I believe that you got yes men around you. I have said that I think like people just gas you up so much that you just believe the gas. You know what I mean? And sometimes you just got to lower this thing down. You know what I mean? Lower this thing down and show humility, because I think behind all of the bravado and the regalia and everything else, I think Deontay Wilder is actually a good guy. I just think he's got gas guys around him that get gassed. And they get gassed and you can just throw them a couple of dollars and they're even more gassed. That's what I believe. You know what I mean? If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong and I can't be wrong and strong. You know what I mean? But I've got nothing but love and admiration for a man that's helped bring up his family in the way that he has. But this Ruiz and Joshua thing that you want to fight those guys now, you know what I mean? Let Dylan Whyte, God willing, get past Povetkin on the 26th.
27th. Yeah.
27th, Gibraltar, right?
Gibraltar. Rock of Gibraltar card.
Yeah. And then And then after that, I think Dylan Whyte and Javante should fight. Devontae should fight each other.
Oh, just on that Dillian Whyte fight with Povetkin moved to March 27th, it's giving Povetkin more time to kind of recover because he had COVID bad apparently. So that's even a little bit more time to sharpen up.
I don't know anything about Dylan Whyte. I don't think Dylan Whyte wants to fight a half-dead Povetkin. I think he wants to fight the best Povetkin out there. I know Dylan. I've known Dylan from he's been a little pup. He was 16, 17 years old, coming into the gym around me from then. So I've known him from then. And the next thing, I don't like how Sky, and now that I'm mentioning it on your channel, they're going to listen because they listen to everything that we say. You know, they've got their spies out there. I don't like how Sky ain't putting a microphone towards Miller, Xavier Miller. You know what I mean? He's where they're meant to be.
So you got the phone call, yeah? You got a phone call, yeah?
My wife, so I had to answer it.
All right, no worries, no worries. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, I don't like how they're not putting spotlight on Xavier Miller. Yeah, they've come, Harold Shadow Knight, yeah, it's great. I've got a lot of confidence now within that team because the practice of experience, then I would say that Xavier Miller is a little bit inexperienced. But now you've been with a man who's relentless throughout his championship years, right? Razor Rock fight, he was there. What was that? That was October 31st, 1992. You know what I mean? My guy was there. When they got rid of Pepe Correa, Courtney Shannon was still there, he worked with Lennox, and so was Harold Shadow Knight. So therefore, that's experience going throughout. But Harold Shadow Knight was never the front runner as a trainer. He was always the second in command, whispering out what he's doing and all the rest. So I believe that that's going to be very, very good for Dylan Whyte. That he's got him there and it's going to be good for Xavier. But I don't like how they're not propsing Xavier. Because all these other little young trainers come through and they props them. Ben Davison come through, they're propsing him. Who's the other little young who's just come through? But you get what I'm trying to say. So when I'm looking at that, I say, why are you not propsing Xavier? So when Xavier got the job with Dylan as the head coach, I would tell everyone, listen, props this you. Because I know how this thing is. You know what I mean? I know how this thing is, and I also know where it stems from. So props this you. I don't like how they've gone to say, okay, well, Harold Shadow Knight, he won't learn this. Yeah, that was a wicked fighter. Wicked fighter. You know what I mean? Me and him share the same birthday. You know what I mean? I remember him from way back when he was in the KO magazine when they were talking, highlighting him. I remember his fight that he had with Rocky Lockridge. That was his only loss in his career. When he lost to Rocky Lockridge for the IBF title. We're talking years, what, 88, 89, something like that. Right, so, yeah. Just props. I'm saying that we should be propsing these men here, Xavier, because we don't know who Xavier is going to go out and inspire, because he's a man from the hood who's doing a thing with an accomplished world title challenger. That's my rant on that anyway.
Hey, big up Xavier Miller, 100%. That's my guy, man, from early, from the same ends. For Marku defeating Ryland Charlton. Good fight. I enjoyed that fight. What about yourself?
Listen, I did enjoy the fight, and this is the fight that should happen. I'm glad that I'm saying it on here, on yours first. I most probably get the both of them for the Fighters Right, because everyone knows I'm very close to Dave Coolwell, and I'm very close to Sam Jones. So, and Sam Jones manages Marku, and Dave Coolwell manages Samuel Antwi.
Kofi. Yeah. Samuel True Antwi. True Sensation, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Bro, I was very impressed with Antwi on which I covered on that fight on ESPN, you know, because you use props to my work, so big up yourself for that. But yeah, I would like that fight. That would be the fight, because it was Antwi. Antwi, what, 11 fights in now, 1 loss. Yeah, I mean, he was Southern Area champion, now he's a English champ. I'd like to see that fight. That is a fight that I would like to see. Right? Because that would be a classic Hagler Hearns kind of thing. Trust me, that's the fight that I want to see.
Yeah, and you know that Antwi was very aggressive with the body shots, you know, on Friday night. So, you know, Ryland Charlton was aggressive last night, I thought, as well. But Antwi, I think, is going to offer more,
no
same, if not more.
To Charlton. Charlton ain't no power. None. But he still managed to floor Marku. And the thing about it is this, I like Marku. I think Marku's a fun fighter. I think he's good for the sport because he's got people talking. He's got good fanfare, and I've got a big affinity with Albanians. And this is the next thing. I used to manage and work with a guy called Kresnik Chatu, right? The Eagle. Marku's not bigger than Kresnik. Kresnik was ridiculous. Kresnik made me earn so much money when I was promoting fight because Kresnik would sell out the York Hall by himself.
Wow, okay.
Right, when I was promoting Hard Knocks. And all the rest of the guys, I'd have like 8 other fights on the card or 5 fights on the card. Everyone saying, we want tickets. I said, bro, they're all gone, you know? Seriously, Kresnik, mad one. Kresnik would sell out the place. Got a lot of time for Kresnik channel. So I'm saying Marku should be paying homage. You see, with me, guys who paved the way for me to come through, I show homage to them. That's why I always climb up. I never rung on the ladder that I can climb up. These guys got paid. Kresnik Chato was the guy. He bust my career when I started to promote. Then Troy came along. Then Darren Hammett won the British title. You know what I mean? Then Troy won prize fight. Larry Eckendale won prize fight. But the guy that really bust me, was like, bro, Spencer can do this thing. And made me jazz it up. It was like Karen Bain, my business partner, but it was actually Kresnik Chato. So I got big up Kresnik. So when I see Marku do his thing, I'm saying, yeah, it's nice. And yeah, you bring crowd. Nobody brought crowd like Kresnik Chato. Nobody. I'm telling you this now. Ridiculous. And if it was now, we're going to flip the page 10 years on, how social media has really, really grown, he would be on another level now. But big up Marku. I like him. I think he's a fun fighter. And he's a work in progress. And so is Antwi. So I'd like to see them two fight now. I'm going to try and get both of them maybe this week or next week on The Fight Is Right. That's that fight there, because there ain't no building up fights right now. We're in a pandemic. It's 50-50 fights.
100.
MTK Global putting on 50-50 fights the other night. There weren't no, this is definitely a foregone conclusion. No, you have to fight. It's sink or swim. Or if it was in the other side and the other favor for a fight, it wasn't to the MTK Global fight. They said, well, we got to put you got to go challenge for a title. Boom. Yeah, that's boxing, man. Pandemic's going on. You know what I mean? So therefore, pandemic, man has to go and fight. Everyone want to talk, unless you want to be Instagram fighters. No.
They're calling it the shockdemic now.
Yeah, the shockdemic, for real. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a shockdemic.
All right, so look, okay, you said that Charlton hasn't got power, but I thought, to be fair, he gave a good account of himself. I think Marku had a game plan, which he was sticking to.
Yeah, listen. George Foreman used to say, never follow a puncher. Never, ever, ever follow a puncher. And what was he doing in there? He was following Marku's heavy-handed, and Marku's very, very fast as well. Got good uppercuts, got good repertoire of punches, and he's only got to learn. He's got to learn even more. So I was, like I said, I enjoyed that fight. Yeah, I mean, but I did feel sorry for Ryan Charlton. I felt sorry for him as well, because after he floored him, I thought, yeah. But you know what? We shall see. But I said the fight, I'm going to be boosting up this Antu kid all the time, because I know what's going to happen. They're going to kind of swerve him. No, he's here as well. He's thrown his hat in the ring right now, and I'm going to be boosting him up because they're cool as my guy, and I like this Antu youth. He's a good dude. That would be a wicked fight if them two were to fight each other.
Yeah, man. That Ghanaian name Antwi, man, that makes me want to just tuck into some jollof rice when he fights next, you know. But anyhow.
Yeah, bruv, I'm telling you, some pepper stew. I'm telling you.
Them ones. All right, look. Is there an issue right now with the fighters that we have coming through reaching world level? You know, obviously there's a big gap between, you know, domestic titles and world honors, right? So we've got the next generation. Okay, the golden generation have gone now. Is there a wider problem in British boxing at the moment?
Yeah, I believe so. Because it all swings and roundabouts. This is what happens, is it swings and roundabouts. We go back 6 years ago, right? Britain had something like 11 world champions. Even some of them were regular champions, but we had something like 11 world champions. Never happened in British boxing history, right? It's easy to do because titles are more fragmented. But now we're seeing an influx of injection of cash into boxing in America now. So as we've seen that, we've seen the rise of Al Heyman, Golden Boy is still doing what they're doing, Bob Arum's doing what he's doing with Top Rank, MTK Global have fighters literally all over the place. Fighters in America, fighters in Kazakhstan, fighters in the South Americas. They got fighters all around who are positioned with all these guys, with Queensbury, someone with Matchroom, someone with Top Rank, but they're positioned. And other guys, they get put on their own shows, on MTK Global shows. So we're seeing it now. So it's like the main onus isn't on the UK anymore, right? And I think also it came from our amateur system, knowing like where we had a conveyor belt of really good guys who are picking up gold medals. But what's happened now is like the rest of the world's kind of caught up a second. We're going to Sheffield. We're flying to Sheffield, because it's an amazing stuff that they got down in Sheffield, right?
Yeah.
And we're giving all our energy to the Sheffield place. So what's happened? The rest of the world's realized that let's build our own facilities, right? Because in the last Olympics that we had, what's that? 2016, the men's didn't pick up no gold medal. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Our only medalist was Joshua Whyte. He won the bronze medal. But it's still, Joshua's gone on to do great things. But now, see, because the rest of the world's being smart now, why are we going to give our energy to UK? All our training methods and everything else. So those guys who are down at the GB squad, all they got to do is sit down and write notes. This is what this guy from Kazakhstan does. This is what this guy from Albania does. This is what this... Do you get what I'm trying to say? So they've caught up to it. They've caught up. So the game's now changed again. Right? And now with the influx of guys who are saying, I want to be on the GB squad and I want to turn pro, some of the young kids now who are turning pro, who were on the GB squad with honours, their fundamentals are pretty intact, but I don't know if they want it as much anymore. So this game swings and roundabouts. I'll speak to one of my friends, Robin Block, who's a movie director, right? And he said to me, his dad's actually Simon Block, the former head of the British Border Control, but me and him are really tight. And he was saying, Spence, this swings and roundabouts. The pendulum's going to swing back to America. Watch and see. The pendulum's going to swing right back to America. He said this to me about 4 years ago. This is when everything was at the height. You know, we had Froch selling out arenas. You know what I mean? A young sprightly Anthony Joshua coming through. You know what I mean? Tyson. Even though we got the 2 world heavyweight champions, right? But in the rest of the divisions, we're not being dominant anymore. So you have to ask yourself, why is that? It's because the rest of the world is kind of caught up with us now.
Who for you is that guy for us that you know that can, I don't know, win the next world title?
I think Joshua Buatsi's in with a shout, but the person who goes underneath the radar, yeah, who there should be more noise about him, is Lawrence Okolie. I'm telling you this now. Lawrence Okolie is the guy, as far as I'm concerned. A very grounded individual, very grounded young man. You know, I like seeing fighters, the relationship that they have with their parents. I love the fact that he adores his mother. You know, I think Lawrence Okolie is the guy. But skill, when I'm looking at skill, I think Joe Cordina's an excellent talent. And I think that he could pick up world honors as well. But right now, I think Lawrence Okolie could be a big star because he knocks brothers out. So I think the next big star, I think it's going to be him. Of somebody who hasn't challenged for a world title yet, I think he's due to challenge. Was it next month? He's challenged for the world title.
Naki,
yeah. Yeah. I think Lawrence Okolie is going to be that guy, and he's constantly improving, constantly studying boxing. He's got a good team behind him with Shane McGuigan. I rate Shane as a trainer. Yeah, I think Lawrence Okolie is the guy.
All right, man. Spence, I won't take up much more of your time, man, but yeah, really enjoyed it, man. Thanks for your time once more, man. The fight is right.
Big up Pep Talk. You know what I mean? Big up Pep Talk. That's what I've got to say. Just keep on bigging up you. You know what I mean? Shaz. I mean, keep on doing your thing, man.